So, Lewis apparently will be going to Ferrari in 2025. In other news, Twitter becomes X, and I'm now scared to click on it without being in incognito mode. Neuralink successfully implants a chip in a human brain, and Vince McMahon does his best Amber Heard impression and plops a big one onto an ex-employee of WWE.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Among other absolutely vile things. But anyway, I'm sorry about the Crocs. They ain't even Crocs, to be honest. I'm just a fraud. So it's like this, guys. This video will be mainly focusing on what I feel about this and what my opinions are, and not really just me spitting facts at you, okay? So this news, like a lot of people, kinda hit me like a train this Thursday. I was just minding my own business, and then my phone decides to ring out of nowhere. And what do you know? It's a video about Lewis in red overalls. Nothing out of the ordinary. We're fine, we're okay, it's all fine. Honestly, I didn't really pay that much attention to it, since we are all just so entrenched in all the Andretti stuff at the time. And I just thought to myself, it's probably just a what if kind of video, like many have been made before it. But then another video comes out, and then another one, and another one, and then I fucking crack. I checked the date, and what do you know? It ain't April Fool's Day, you fool. It's just a bunch of YouTube videos with the same title template. Is Lewis going to Ferrari in 2025? And then videos start coming out, but this time they're coming out from Autosport, ESPN, Sky Sports, and now my mind's just racing. Like, what the fuck do you mean Lewis is going to Ferrari? I just thought to myself, if it ain't April Fool's, then I must have been conked in my head, and I went crazy, I went crazy, it was bound to happen anyway, so, it just happened. But it's real. It's all fucking real. And to be honest, as much as the idea shocked me at first, obviously, when you stop and actually think about it, it's not actually that far-fetched. Cause, think about it. I hear a lot of people say that it's every driver's dream to race for Ferrari, and Lewis has, in fact, expressed his feelings on the subject in the past. And since the new regulations came along, Mercedes hasn't really been on his level. And this is a big if here, but if the data coming out of the simulator isn't really showing much promise, you might start thinking about a move elsewhere, especially when you have the clout to actually land anywhere you want, right? So, why not join your dream team, right? As for Ferrari's logic, well, to me it just feels a little more vague, I feel that Ferrari really doesn't have a plan here. They probably just saw that Lewis was showing interest in the team and immediately said yes. Because why the fuck would you not sign one of the best to ever do it? Alright. Hi Charles! Now, this thought changes depending on when the discussion and decision were made. If Lewis and Fred have been talking since last year, then they probably have a good idea for bringing him on board, because they would have had the time to really mature the idea of what a Ferrari with Lewis and Charles would actually look like. But I really think it's the former, cause apparently Leclerc knew about this when signing his multi-year contract, and Carlos didn't. What do you know? Also, can we talk about Ferrari's statement for a minute? Cause there was just like, oh hey, by the way, we signed Hamilton for 2025 on a multi-year contract. Bye! While Mercedes actually had quotes from both the driver and the team boss, so okay. But what do I actually think of all this? I like it. Me like it the chaos. I bore easy. I was getting ready to hibernate till 2026, where things were actually bound to be shaken up a little bit. But then F1 decides to kick down my fucking igloo and whisper in my ear, wakey wakey bitch, and now we have a shit show ready to happen, or a possible Tifosi resurgence, who knows. But one thing is for sure, the grid is about to get loose, baby. I wanna see Alonso in that seat, man. I just wanna see him there. Think about it. Imagine Hamilton and Charles going up against Alonso and Russell. Boom! There wouldn't be a single weekend without straight fire from those races. And interviews, to be honest. Also, we would probably also have a proper rematch of the old guard. Think about it. Now, do I think this is actually going to happen? Probably not, but who cares, right? Albon would be cool too, because we would have a proper measure between him and Russell, and I'm really interested to see how Albon has matured into his racing. And then we have Carlos. Oh, Carlos. Man, Carlos deserves a seat. Come on. I think it's a waste to let him descend into the basement of the midfield, right? The guy has just proven himself again and again. First at McLaren and then at Ferrari, where he was actually pulling an overtime because he was having to do the racing and the actual strategy too.
Box, Carlos, box, speed confirm.
Not now, not now, not now.
Stay out, stay out.
So come on, please let the guy have what he deserves, please. Now, who I don't want to see in that seat, however, is Bottas, Ocon, and Vettel. Not that I dislike any of them, but two have had their chances and one is not fast enough. Make of that what you will. But especially Bottas, man, I just can't stand the guy in F1 anymore. I like that he's happier in life, but it just feels so inconsequential, man. I mean, it's the only word that comes to mind when I think about Bottas is inconsequential. And granted, the Beef F1 team is a no-show for most of the time, but he's not really there anymore, is he? And if you think I'm being unfair to Valtteri Bottas, just think about how many times we've actually seen him in a race versus how many times you've seen a picture of his ass. Ocon, I'd like to see him in a more competitive team than Alpine, because I think the guy is actually really fun to watch when he's not crashing, granted, but just not in a Mercedes seat. And as for Vettel, I heard he could become a consultant for the Silver Arrows, a la Niki Lauda, and I really like the idea. I like the idea of having a guy there to bring little George back to earth and to help him with his racecraft, because I really think he's a really talented driver. He just needs to be more chill, man. And with Lewis out of there to alleviate the pressure a little bit, and with Vettel there to help him guide him a little bit on his way up, I think that would be a recipe for a really, really good driver. But with Vettel there, that would also probably mean that Mick would fill that seat. And as much as I'd like to see Mick Schumacher in an F1 car again, because obviously Haas wasn't the answer, I don't think it's the answer for anyone, to be fair, but I just don't think that should be the Mercedes, or at least not yet. But yeah, guys, I thought my brain had actually finally given up on life, but alas, this was all true, and I'm here for it. Now I just need GTA 6 and I'll be a happy boy. Toodles! Oh, Haas just revealed their livery. It's alright, nothing special, but at least it's better than last year's. And well, at least it's better than our expectations, right?